Hello everybody, SapphireSabre here today with another Pokemon Nuzlocke. In this video, I'll be attempting to complete a Nuzlocke in Pokemon Leaf Green with only Grass-type Pokemon, with Hardcore Nuzlocke Rules. My rule set will be standard Nuzlocke rules, with I can only catch the first Pokemon I encounter per area, if a Pokemon faints, it is considered dead and can't be used anymore, and I also play with the dupes clause, so if I find a duplicate Pokemon, I can re-roll that encounter until I get a valid encounter. As for rules that make this run hardcore, set mode must always be active. I can't use any items in battle, but held items and Pokeballs are okay. And I'm not allowed to overlevel, my Pokemon's level cannot exceed the next gym leader's ace. I obviously also can't get all of the necessary HMs with only grass types, so I'll be allowed to capture HM mules along the way. These Pokemon are never allowed to see battle, and should they ever be forced into battle, I must immediately switch back to a legal Pokemon, even if that puts me at a huge disadvantage. Going into this challenge, I don't expect it to be easy. My options are very limited as there are only 6 grass-type evolution lines in Kanto, a pair of which are version exclusives. I decided to play Leaf Green so that I can have Bellsprout instead of Oddish, since I think having another physical attacker could be useful, and Vileplume just kind of feels like a weaker Venusaur. With all of that out of the way, let's begin the run. I named Bulbasaur Lettuce and beat my rival. On the first try, of course. After that, I can beeline straight for Brock. There are no new encounters yet, but I'm not worried about Brock. Neither of his Pokemon have any special defense, and they're both doubly weak to grass, so Lettuce easily handles them. In Mount Moon, I can get a new encounter, namely Mushroom the Paras. Paras and Parasect are pretty bad, but Spore is a nice move, and it's one of my 5 potential encounters, so I'll at least try to make use of it. I decided that I'm going to challenge Misty before going to the Nugget Bridge, since my level cap is getting pretty tight with only 2 Pokemon. Lettuce is able to Vine Whip down the Staryu while taking minimal damage, and out comes Starmie. Lettuce lands a Sleep Powder after a weak Swift from Starmie, and then Lettuce sets up a Leech Seed. That'll keep Lettuce healthy and chip away at Starmie. Starmie wakes up and uses another Swift, and Lettuce retaliates with a Razor Leaf to almost finish Starmie. Lettuce then takes one more Swift, and then finishes off Starmie. 2 badges down, but the things only get harder from here. I have to challenge my rival, who I fittingly named Fall, the death of all my plans. He leads with a Pidgeotto and has a Charmander in the back, so this is going to be a tough fight. Lettuce manages to take down Pidgeotto, but her accuracy is lowered in the process and she's left with 1 HP. Mushroom is doubly weak to fire, so I can't bring him in to reset Lettuce's accuracy, so I have to chance it. Lettuce goes for a Sleep Powder that's basically a coin toss to hit, but luckily it hits. Lettuce then lands a critical Overgrow boosted Razor Leaf to finish Charmander. After that, Fall decides to throw the game and sends an Abra. This leaves me open for Lettuce to use Leech Seed and heal up before finishing off the rest of Fall's team. I got extremely lucky against Charmander there. I was certain I would have to restart the run. I have a feeling that my rival is going to be my biggest obstacle this run, other than Blaine. Just north of Cerulean, I can get my 3rd encounter, a Bellsprout I name Onion. Now with 3 Pokemon on my team, I have to battle my rival again before I can challenge Lieutenant Surge. Fall leads with Pidgeotto again, so I lead with Onion, who's able to muscle through Pidgeotto with 2 Acids. Out comes Kadabra, so I swap to Mushroom. Kadabra doesn't feel like attacking though, so Mushroom easily finishes it off. Next is Charmeleon, so I swap to Lettuce. Fall plays the accuracy game again, causing Lettuce to miss a Leech Seed. Charmeleon then burns Lettuce with an Ember. Not looking good. I try another Leech Seed, and this time land the hit, as Charmeleon uses another Smokescreen. Lettuce is in danger here, so I swap to Onion. Charmeleon goes for yet another Smokescreen, giving Onion time to use Acid to defeat it. Last is Raticate, who Mushroom easily handles. A little scary of a fight, but I managed to pull through. Fortunately, Charmeleon only has Ember, so I can tank a few hits. I'm dreading the Silph rival fight, where my rival will have a Charizard that can use Flamethrower. For now, though, it's time to go challenge Surge. With an all-grass team, I don't imagine he'll be incredibly difficult. Surge leads Voltorb, and I lead Mushroom. After taking a Sonic Boon, Dig one-shots the Voltorb, and out comes Pikachu. Pikachu sets up a double team, as Mushroom just finishes it with a Scratch. Unfortunately, Pikachu's static activates though, so now Mushroom is paralyzed. I have Mushroom use Stun Spore on Raichu as Raichu sets up a double team, and then swap to Lettuce. Surge full heals, but it's all over. Raichu can't damage Lettuce much at all, and with Leech Seed, Lettuce can remain healthy. A few Razor Leafs and Leech Seed chip damage finishes off Raichu. After Surge, I make my way over towards Rock Tunnel. Along the way, I catch a Meowth for pickup grinding. This is a bit of a gray area as to whether or not this is legal, but as long as the Meowth never sees battle, I don't see it as breaking my rules. I'm using pickup to gather useful items like berries, rare candies, and PP-ups to give me more options in battle. I personally think that makes the run more interesting and fun, but feel free to disagree with me down in the comments. I'm sure someone will. Nothing eventful happens along the way to Erica, so it's time to challenge her. This run is going by incredibly quickly, but Kanto has little to no plot in it, so there isn't much to talk about. No world-ending events here, just some criminal organization that doesn't do much except take over an office building. Regardless, I go to challenge Erica. She leads Victory Bell as I lead Onion. Onion fires off an acid as Victory Bell uses Stun Spore. A Cherry Berry cures Onion, so Onion's free to use acid again, scoring a critical hit and the knockout. Next is Tangela, but for whatever reason, Tangela is a much lower level than Erica's other Pokemon, so a critical acid one-shots it. Last is Vileplume, so Onion takes the time to Stun Spore as it Stun Spores Onion. Erica full heals Vileplume as Onion fires off an acid. Vileplume uses an acid of her own, but Onion is doing much more damage. After some unfortunate paralysis luck, Onion is getting a little low, so I swap to Lettuce to put Vileplume to sleep. I then swap to Mushroom, but Mushroom is put to sleep before he can attack. I switch back to Lettuce, putting Vileplume to sleep once more. I swap back to Mushroom, hoping for a wake-up, but Vileplume wakes up first. Acid does a lot of damage, but Aerial Ace does as well. To play it safe, I swap back to Lettuce, who falls asleep from Sleep Powder, but wakes up with a Chesto Berry. Lettuce puts Vileplume to sleep once more, allowing me to swap to Mushroom and finish off the Vileplume. This is why I gathered all those berries. It's really rewarding to carefully pick which berry to give your Pokemon and see the payoff in battle. After Erica, the game opens up quite a bit. My next priority is getting a new encounter in the Safari Zone as Execute, but I need to battle Fall in the Pokemon Tower first. At this point, the level cap spikes from 29 to 43, so I can grossly outlevel Fall. The battle isn't even close. I make my way to Fuchsia, where I can find both the Safari Zone and Execute. If I'm really unlucky and fail to catch it, I'll have another chance after Blaine, but that requires beating Blaine and doing the entire Sevi Island side quest, so I'd really prefer to catch my Execute here. Luckily, after just a few balls, I catch Execute and name him Coconut. At this point, I'm thinking about how to beat Blaine and my rival, and the only strategy I can come up with is via Coconut. I can't get Swords Dance on Onion until post-game, and I have no setup moves other than everybody's favorite, Double Team. This strategy is incredibly lame and unreliable, but I don't see a better option. I decide to test my Cactic against Koga, and it goes flawlessly. You see, the AI gets a little confused with Substitute. The AI wants to use status moves on me, but they can't while my sub is active. I give Coconut a leftovers and use Leech Seed to keep him healthy while he hides behind his doll and sets up double teams. Extremely lame strategy, but I wanted to test how well it would work. As you can imagine, Coconut destroys everything with Psychic, but I did get to test my strategy, and I think it'll work well if I'm lucky. After Koga, I catch my fifth and final Pokemon, a Tangela named Shrub. He'll make a decent physical wall my team so desperately desires. Before Sabrina, I have to challenge Fall in Silphco. He has a Charizard now, so it's time to put Coconut's strategy into motion. Fall leads with Pidgeot, and I lead with Onion, who can nearly take it down with a couple acids, but takes heavy damage in the process. I swap to Lettuce, predicting a quick attack, who puts Pidgeot to sleep. I try to set up some growths, but Pidgeot wakes up early, so Lettuce finishes off Pidgeot off with a Giga Drain. Next is Execute, so Fall has doomed himself. Execute simply cannot help spamming status moves, giving me a free opportunity to set up Coconut. I allow Lettuce to get paralyzed so that Coconut won't get paralyzed on the switch, and once Coconut sets up a Substitute, it's all over. Execute keeps trying to status Coconut as Coconut sets up 6 double teams and runs through Fall's entire team. I actually run out of a Psychic PP against Alakazam, and am forced to PP stall myself into struggling, but the thing can't really damage me anyway. This is definitely not an honorable strategy, but I really couldn't think of a better plan. All of my Pokemon's hidden powers were garbage except Tangela's, but Tangela's was Psychic type, so it wasn't very useful here. If anybody has another strategy that might have worked against Rival Fivel here that I missed, let me know down in the comments. I scoured TM and potential movesets, but couldn't come up with anything else, so I went with this. Up next is Sabrina, but it's the same story. She leads with Kadabra, so I take the opportunity to set up Coconut. Through the combination of Leech Seed, Leftovers, and Kadabra being relatively passive, Coconut sets up and sweeps her entire team. I'm not even sure how to commentate these battles anymore, I'm using the same lame strategy. However, this strategy is incredibly RNG dependent, so I fear the day it all comes crashing down. Nonetheless, I move towards my biggest obstacle in this run, and the reason I thought of this strategy in the first place. Blaine. Blaine's team is all Fire-type, which doesn't bode well for my Plant Gang. His Arcanine can also outspeed my entire team and one-shot any of them with a non-critical Fire Blast, so I'm certainly in trouble. My only options are to somehow outspeed and one-shot it, or to have it miss its Fire Blast. This is where Coconut comes in, as you may expect. However, I can't set up on his lead Growlithe since it has Roar, so I'm going to try and set up against Ponyta. I lead with Lettuce, who dispatches Growlithe with a good old Sleep Powder Leech Seed combo, along with a couple Giga Drains. Ponyta comes in, so I have Lettuce set up a Leech Seed and a Sleep Powder to safely bring in Coconut. Once I swap to Coconut, Coconut uses the Substitute Double Team combo to reach max evasiveness, allowing him to Psychic his way through Blaine's team while he couldn't hit him. A cheap win, but beating Blaine with an all-grass type team without deaths is still quite the feat. My last obstacle is the 8th gym leader Giovanni, but seeing as he's a ground type specialist, he isn't an issue. Shrub has Mega Drain and a Psychic hidden power, so after a few growths, he sweeps Giovanni's entire team. No matter the challenge you take, I can't ever see this Giovanni being an issue here. He just doesn't have a very good team. I didn't even need to cheese it with Coconut. Before I can go to challenge the Elite Four, I have to battle Fall, but once again Lettuce sets up a Leech Seed and a Sleep Powder for Coconut to switch in and set up, this time against Pidgeot. This strategy has been working so far, but I'm getting really nervous the RNG-dependent nature of it will come back to bite me. I take all the time to grab the TMs I want, buy healing items for in-between Elite Four members before entering the league. The Elite Four themselves shouldn't be too tough to handle, but the final battle against the champion won't be easy. Nonetheless, it's time to give it my best shot. First up is Lorelei, and although I'll be using setup strats, it won't be using Coconut. This time, Lettuce uses Sleep Powder to set up growths when possible, and runs through Lorelei's entire team with Giga Drain. Lettuce hasn't had time in the spotlight much lately, and the less I use my lame Coconut strategy, the better. Next up is Bruno, but he really sucks, even in normal runs. I mean, Onix is a really bad Pokemon, and he has 2 of them. For reference, Onix has the same attack stat as Pidgey. Sure, it has high defense and a decent speed, but that's it can't do anything. There's no need to commentate this battle. Lettuce handles the first Onix, and Coconut's Psychics deal with everything else. Nice and easy. Next is Agatha, but her entire team is Poison type, leaving her vulnerable to Coconut's vicious Psychic. I lead Mushroom to damage and Spore the Gengar, so I can swap to Coconut and set up. This Gengar has Shadow Punch, a move that never misses, so I can't set up all 6 double teams, but I can set up enough that Coconut just runs through her entire team. Last is Lance, but I employ my famous Coconut dodge tank strategy once more. Mushroom spores the Gyarados, as I decide between risking Mushroom and Lettuce. Mushroom is the least valuable, and I bring in Coconut to set it up while it sleeps. It's still lame, but for an all-grass type team, I suppose it's kind of fitting. Grass types are known for their ability to inflict status and annoyance rather than brute force, so I guess I'm playing to their strengths? Last up is the final obstacle, the champion, Fall. Here's where everything tumbles and burns. I try to set up against Pidgeot, but it knows Aerial Ace now, a move that can't miss. I didn't consider this, which really puts me in a bad spot. I have Lettuce put Pidgeot to sleep and Leech Seed it, and swap to Coconut. Pidgeot wakes up though, nailing Coconut with a really powerful Aerial Ace. I set up a Substitute, hoping it'll want to Sand Attack, but it just breaks my sub with another Aerial Ace. I start to panic, as I need Coconut to set up to win at this point. I swap to Shrub, who can tank Pidgeot's physical hits extremely well, and then swap to Onion. I'm not sure what my plan there was, but I was panicking a little bit. Onion finishes Pidgeot with a return, but things aren't looking good. Fall sends an Alakazam, which may just be my opportunity to set up Coconut. I swap to Mushroom as a sacrifice to get Coconut a clean switch. Rest easy, Mushroom. I send in Coconut to Leech Seed the Alakazam for more recovery after taking a Psychic. I try to get Coconut set up, but after a special defense drop, I'm in a pretty bad spot. Alakazam can break my sub, I'm low on HP, and I have no double teams up yet. I stay in and double team just for the recovery, but I need to fix my special defense before I set up Coconut. It's time to sacrifice again, this time with Shrub. I don't want to kill Alakazam, as if Charizard comes in next, I'm finished. I have Shrub spam Growth, hoping that Alakazam will finish him off, but Alakazam doesn't seem to want to kill him. He sets up a Future Sight, which is kind of the nail in the coffin, as you'll see in a moment. Alakazam is drained low enough from Leech Seed that Fall will likely heal it, so seeing this as a free turn, I swap to Coconut. Big mistake, as Coconut takes huge Future Sight damage, leaving him unable to set up a Substitute. I swap to Shrub, as Alakazam sets up another Future Sight. This is looking pretty grim. Alakazam refuses to finish off Shrub, simply spamming Future Sight. Setting up Growth here seems nice, but Charizard outspeeds and one-shots Shrub, so it doesn't matter. After taking Future Sight damage, Alakazam finally finishes off Shrub with a Psychic. I send in Lettuce in an attempt to put Alakazam to sleep, but Lettuce misses. Lettuce falls to a second Psychic, so I bring in Coconut. My only play is to sacrifice everyone to heal Coconut, and hopefully it'll be enough to set up. I swap to Onion for another sacrifice, and then bring Coconut back in, my now last Pokemon, to heal a little bit more. With a measly 78 HP, I need to set up. Coconut sets up a double team, as Alakazam uses Future Sight and falls to the Leech Seed. Luckily for me, Fall sends in Gyarados, not Charizard, so there's still a chance. I set up a Substitute, and Gyarados can't break the sub with Dragon Rage, as Coconut's subs are just under 50 HP. Right when things are looking better, I throw the entire battle. I misclick Substitute when I wanted to Leech Seed, giving Gyarados the chance to bite and break the sub. Coconut is running low on HP, and only has one double team up, and takes a Future Sight to drop him down to 4 health. It's over. My only win condition is to double team and hope Gyarados keeps missing, but that's incredibly unlikely. After all that effort, Coconut falls against the champion, losing me the run. This is really saddening, but honestly I'm lucky it didn't happen sooner. This is why I don't usually play with double team and Nuzlockes. It's all RNG dependent, making it incredibly inconsistent, and it's also a fairly lame way to win. I didn't want to resort to it, but I feel like I had no other choice. I really don't want to redo this entire run though, as it required a lot of luck to get here, so I'm comfortable accepting the loss. Just to prove that the challenge is possible, I reload my save right before Fall and challenge him again, this time being more careful and setting up Coconut. Sure enough, it was a complete sweep as usual. So, to answer the question, can I beat Pokemon Leaf Green with Hardcore Nuzlocke rules using only Grass-type Pokemon? No, I can't. Or at least not right now. But can it be done? Yes, it absolutely can. Although I did have fun with this run, and the limited Pokemon pool made me have to work harder to win, I don't know if I'll do mono-type runs as much in the future. I really like Nuzlockes for making me use Pokemon I don't normally use and forcing me to team build effectively, and that aspect is entirely removed in these types of runs. I might come back to them in the future, but at least for now I want a break. I still plan on playing Black 2 on challenge mode, and I think I'll do that for the next run. I wanted to save that one for a live stream, so I think I'll be streaming that one over on Twitch. I'm going on vacation for this next week, but after that I plan to start live streaming future runs. I'll still make a YouTube video like this for those runs, so people who don't like live streams can still find their way to enjoy it. Also follow me on Twitter, as I'll be posting updates there that might not always be on YouTube, so if you want to stay in the loop, you should follow me there. I'll leave a link in the description. Anyways, that's all I've got, so if you enjoy, consider leaving a like, subscribing, and ringing the bell so you're notified of my next upload. And tell me what you thought down in the comments. Was Double Team too lame? Or do you have any better strategies for handling these battles? Let me know! That's all folks, I hope you enjoyed.